Fallout New Vegas is sometimes called the best RPG of all time. I can't really argue. This mostly comes down to the writing and characters present in the game. Every choice of how to finish the game is made to be compelling, besides one. And I intend to prove beyond all doubt which ending is objectively the correct choice for all people every single time. So buckle up and get ready to have your mind changed. Alright. Believe it or not, my thoughts on this subject have been bouncing around my head since the very first time I played New Vegas. I have wanted to talk about this for over a decade. And at the end of the day, my thoughts on this specifically are a huge reason why I even made this channel in the first place.
Woo! Yeah, baby! That's what I've been waiting for.
Now, that being said, in addition to the fact that I've wanted to talk about this forever, I also felt pressure to get this video out because it looks like the second season of the show is going to add a lot of context to New Vegas. Maybe even give us a canon ending to the game.
You what?
So, I need to get this video out now, before that comes out. If you're watching this video into the future, let me just say I made this based only on Fallout New Vegas and the other games before Season 2 of the TV show came out. Any additional context or lore added by the show does not exist yet. And that is why I can confidently say, with the information I have now, I have the objectively correct opinion. Let's start with the obvious. The bad choice is obviously the Legion.
Are we the baddies?
I don't even feel like I should need to address this, but for those of you who need to hear why Caesar's Legion is bad, I guess here we go. Caesar's Legion is a nation of slaves and warriors. If you can't be either one of those, you're just killed. It has been said a million times by people smarter than me, but the instant they run out of things to conquer, they're gonna die. There is no industrial hub, there is no commerce zone, no agricultural development. A man set himself up as a god, then told his followers to destroy the evil that he said lay in front of them, and when they run out of the evil, or their god is proven to be just a man, they themselves will disappear. They exist only to counter the NCR, not as a viable idea on their own. The only somewhat serious argument I have ever heard is that the roads are safe under the Legion? Okay. Who are those roads safe for? The roads aren't safe for random people who aren't Legion citizens. The roads aren't safe for women. The road's not safe for anyone who has any kind of disability. So, who are the roads safe for exactly? If your roads aren't safe for more than half of all people everywhere who have ever existed, I think it's safe to say that they're not safe. Can we just stop talking about the Legion? I mean, I know he calls himself the Sun God or whatever, but this is getting boring.
Shut up about the sun! Shut up about the sun!
Next up, we have the NCR. Now, the NCR is definitely more interesting. The NCR does their best, and they are ultimately, overall, good. There, I said it, okay? They're the objective good guys, and anything that threatens them is a bad thing.
I have done nothing wrong, ever, in my life. Money, please!
That said, they have imperfect representation, imperfect tax laws, imperfect leadership, imperfect people, all working together to form an imperfect democracy. Their tagline could reasonably be, all the errors of the old world, but worse. And that's okay. Love them or hate them, they're doing the best they can, and they just might be the best government around. And for most people, they would create a society that is safe and free enough to live in comfortably. So why shouldn't they be able to take over all of Vegas? Well, because they would ruin Vegas. I recently spent a week in Vegas in real life, and I was surprised by the size and scope of a city devoted only to glamour and money. There is nothing in Vegas, or at least there used to be nothing in Vegas. There is no reason there should be a city there, or at least there used to be no reason. So why do all these things exist now? Well, because a long time ago someone said, we need to build a dam, and that dam needed workers, and once the workers were there, someone else said, let's take all the illegal and reprehensible things that people like to do but really shouldn't, and just let them do it here. Then the workers will spend their hard-earned money here, and more people will come. The same is true for New Vegas. In fact, it is an actual continuation of that spirit. Why is this area important? Because people can come here, use their money to support the local economy, and get anything their heart desires in return. The NCR doesn't understand this. If they bring their ranchers, their farmers, their people, and their laws to New Vegas, there will be no New Vegas. If you need proof, ask the people who live around Vegas about how they feel about the NCR. Ask Goodsprings, Novak, or Prim how they feel about being incorporated into the NCR. That's right. The NCR will overrule them as soon as they annex Alday's people.
Congratulations. You are being rescued. Please do not resist.
In fact, let's take a closer look at Freeside and the rest of the areas around Vegas. When the courier arrives in Freeside, the locals are struggling to get the food and water they are used to. Why is that? Because the NCR came to a place that had already achieved balance with the limited water and food native to Nevada and built their own farms and ranches in places people were already living, and then tried to keep the food and water for NCR citizens. They are removing the people, businesses, and culture that are inherent to New Vegas and replacing them with their own. They are causing an extinction event to the people and cultures that worked hard over centuries to develop there already. Now, normally, it is what it is, right? I mean, weak cultures get swallowed by strong cultures all the time. That's simply the way the world works. But in this specific case, it will deprive the entire world of something very unique in the post-war world: New Vegas. If you replace the casinos, prostitutes, locals, and illicit substances of the Strip, then add taxes onto gambling, what is the point of Vegas?
Yeah, well, I'm gonna go build my own theme park with blackjack and hookers.
You can build a casino and a brothel anywhere. That's not what makes Vegas special. Without the spirit and culture of freedom, rampant consumerism, hedonism, and a survival mentality, this will just be another dusty farm full of settlers in the wasteland, not a destination. Sure, again, that's not inherently a problem, but what a waste. Vegas is special. Vegas is unique. Vegas is one of a kind now, and it will remain so after the war. The NCR is the best government to choose, for sure, but an independent Vegas is infinitely better than letting the city be decided by a governmental council. The NCR will just view Vegas as an extension of their already existing empire, not for the special, unique place it already is. So, we've eliminated the large governments.
It's never too early to learn that the government is a greedy piglet that suckles on a taxpayer's teat until they have sore, chapped nipples.
So, which independent ending should you choose? So, we've officially gotten to the hard part. Why not choose a truly independent ending? A yes man ending is tempting. Certainly, it's better than anything that we've discussed so far. It's better than allowing a large government, like the Legion or NCR, take control. Because at least Vegas will stay a special city, unique to the old world, but still living 200 years later in the wastes. Vegas remains an oasis of freedom and vice and sin in a game where most people are just lucky to get by, and the concept of sin has lost almost all meaning. Most people pick Yes Man because he gives the most freedom to the player. With his ending, you are free to do with each faction as you see fit. Hate the boomers?
Whatever you say.
Get rid of them. Love the kings? Give them a place at the table. Love the Brotherhood? Go ahead and keep them around. The sky is the limit. You can make your endgame slides in your own image. But what about after the endgame slides? Yes Man has no vision. In 200 years, there will be no kings or boomers. The Brotherhood might be an entirely new organization. You know what won't have changed? Yes Man, or the Securitron army he commands. He will be the same robot intelligence without any human being to imagine what to tell him to do. He will be a relic with an army, tasked with keeping everything the same as when the courier was alive, except the courier and everyone they knew will be long gone. He wouldn't be able to respond to things imaginatively. As the government's people, groups, locations, and factions change around him, how is he going to respond? It's clear that sometime in the future, Yes Man will have to be replaced. Some other group will eventually come along and either use Yes Man to shape Vegas to what they want it to be, or remove him. Such is life in Fallout. Change is inevitable. Setting up a leader that cannot change with the times is simply waiting to see how long before they fail. Sure, New Vegas remains independent for a while, but the question is, how long? How long before a human being will need to respond to new problems in a unique way? Doing this is not ensuring Vegas stays alive, but rather just postponing the extinction event of New Vegas for a while longer. Let's talk about why this is important. Why is the extinction of New Vegas so important? The real issue with something going missing in the world isn't just the fact that the world is less diverse. It's also, especially, the sadness we experience for that thing. You'll never see a dinosaur, right? You'll only be able to imagine what it was. There's no way to know for sure, but in the vast majority of cases, I think it's fair to say the animals that go extinct are not aware in any real sense of the demise of their own species. Existentialism is a human condition. The dodos that died to invasive species brought to their island by humans were definitely afraid of their new predators, but not in a, oh no, the extinction of our species kind of way. No, the true cost is to us, to you and me, as the only observers in the universe. Not to put too much importance on humans, but the reasons I want to preserve the existence of, say, a giraffe is so that my children and their children might one day see a giraffe. It's our job to care for the world around us, not only because it is the right thing to do, but also because it's the only way we, as the only known sentient species in the universe, are the only beings present who can appreciate the problem.
Look at all the crazy crap surrounding us. I mean, look at that thing right there. What the hell is that thing? You think you're gonna see that kind of thing at school?
Think of it this way. If there were no humans and gazelles were to go extinct in a flash, lions would surely want more food, and in that sense, they would be hungry and have a desire for a new food source. And in that sense, they would feel sad, of course. But it's not like older lions would turn to their cubs and say,
Simba, you know, when I was your age, there was a small sort of antelope with horns that could run so fast. It was a beautiful thing when your mother and I would chase them. Oh, how I wish you'd been there to see it, my boy. Alas, Simba, the beast has ceased to exist anywhere on the planet, and thus millions of years of evolution have ceased to exist. All that progress, information collection across thousands of generations, snuffed out in an instant. Truly, son, they were always a genetic dead end, but it was only in the final years of their existence that we could all see it.
lions don't do that. We do that. Yeah, in a sense, the whole Earth is robbed when a species ceases to exist, but in a more real sense, as the only ones capable of processing that, we are the ones most affected, and therefore the cost of their absence is a burden for only us and our children to bear. In addition to the knowledge that we as humans are typically the ones responsible for such an extinction event.
Had your kids, had your wife, and had your husband.
That is why we should feel a responsibility to preserve the uniqueness of our world. Did you know, for example, that Australia used to have a whole other evolutionary tree that basically revolved around marsupials? It's gone now. For example, there was a marsupial lion that was similar to lions and tigers but carried its young in a pouch like a kangaroo. There was also, famously, the diprotodon, the giant wombat, completely gone, forever, never to be seen by living eyes again. These are curiosities that you and I will never experience. We have their bones, but besides that, we have to imagine what it might have been like. And the reason for their extinction? In almost every case, it was early man arriving to an island that they had never been on and thinking,
Dad, I'm hungry.
Hi, hungry. I'm Dad.
Why did you name me this way?
Now, let me be clear. I'm Team Humans, okay? I'm not on the humans bad train. The early humans were probably hungry, and if you showed up in a time machine and tried to explain to them that someday they would hunt the giant wombat out of existence, they'd probably laugh in your face, rub their stomach, and eat you instead. But the fact remains, there are things in this world I will never see because humans ate them all. And if I'm not careful, my children or their children may exist in a world with less variety and uniqueness than I got to experience. Vegas deserves to be preserved, especially in the world of Fallout, where so much of the diversity of our world has been wiped out by atomic fire, where safe, free experiences of the old world are so hard to come by. It is the duty of everyone living to preserve places like New Vegas for as long as they can be preserved. It is for this reason that I can confidently say I am a certified Mr. House shill, and I won't tolerate anyone saying otherwise. Now, let me say again, this is based entirely on the game information. I don't actually know what happens after the game slides, just like anyone else doesn't know. I don't know what the show is going to make Mr. House into. It looks like they're doing something with him. They might make him evil, or even worse, stupid. But based only on the options and information in the game, Mr. House is clearly the best person to take care of New Vegas. Here's why. He's a person who understands Vegas for what it is, but is also a human being capable of not only interpreting, but creating his own new data. Remember, if either of the governments take over New Vegas, they will turn it into a regular city, a tax base, or worse, suck it dry and return it to the desert it was in the beginning, more than 100 years ago on our timeline. There is nothing inherently wrong with treating Vegas this way. Cities are good. Cities can be a destination by themselves, like New York.
Concrete jungle, wet dream tomato. You know, about New York.
But Vegas is not just a city. Vegas is an experience. Vegas is an oasis of the old world.
Vegas always was one of a kind. What you see down on the Strip is just a fraction of the city's former glory, and yet, more than an echo, I preserved its spirit.
Vegas might be the only place on Earth after the war that is still a place open to anyone, purely and expressly for the pursuit of pleasure, and it's lorded over by someone who knows what the old Vegas was like.
It was a place of splendor. As magnificent as today's Strip may seem, it's but a shadow of the neon paradise that was Las Vegas. I grew up not far from here, and though I traveled the old world extensively, I never found another place like it.
That's unique, even for the world as bonkers as Fallout. If we get rid of Vegas, nothing like it will exist anywhere in the world. And if we get rid of Mr. House, we won't even know what Vegas was like in the first place. House beats Yes Man because he has a long-term vision for the future.
New Vegas is more than a city. It's the remedy to mankind's derailment. The city's economy is a blast furnace in which can be forged the steel of a new rail line running straight to a new horizon. What is the NCR? A society of people desperate to experience comfort, ease, luxury. A society of customers. With all that money pouring in, give me 20 years and I'll reignite the high technology development sectors. 50 years and I'll have people in orbit. 100 years and my colony ships will be heading for the stars to search for planets unpolluted by the wrath and folly of a bygone generation.
And also as a human capable of understanding human emotions and problems. Maybe not perfectly, right? Of course. But he understands why people love Vegas. He knows what Vegas was meant to be, and he goes to great length to keep Vegas pure to Vegas's own culture. Without Mr. House, New Vegas will cease to be Vegas, or will eventually fall to a new force. We should use the man to preserve the city, as it is and as it was before the war. The main reason Mr. House is better than any other keeper of Las Vegas is that he is eternal. He was alive before the war, and he will remain alive for long after.
Before the Great War of 2077, I was the founder, president, and CEO of Robco Industries, a vast computer and robotics corporation. Don't let the video screens and computer terminals fool you. I'm flesh and blood, not silicon. My knowledge of the science of longevity would fill several textbooks. Perhaps after a decade or two of economic reconstruction, I can commercialize these technologies and offer them to others, such as yourself. Let's just say it was very costly. But I was willing to make the sacrifices longevity entailed, financial and otherwise.
He wants Vegas to remain Vegas. He tried and partially succeeded in stopping the bombs. He rebuilt Vegas from the ground up to be Vegas, in the image of what it was before the bombs.
By 2065, I deemed it a mathematical certainty that an atomic war would devastate the Earth within 15 years. Every projection I ran confirmed it. I knew I couldn't save the world, nor did I care to, but I could save Vegas, and in the process, perhaps save mankind. I set to work immediately. I thought I had plenty of time to prepare. As it turned out, I was 20 hours short. On the day of the Great War, 77 atomic warheads targeted Las Vegas and its surrounding areas. My networked mainframes were able to predict and force transmit disarm code subsets to 59 warheads, neutralizing them before impact. Laser cannons mounted on the roof of the Lucky 38 destroyed another 9 warheads. The rest got through, though none hit the city itself. A suboptimal performance, admittedly.
Sure, he cares about his privacy, and he won't tolerate any threats to himself or the city. But ultimately, his plan is to keep Vegas as it always existed, and skim a little bit off the top to fund projects that restore humanity to the way it was before the war. As long as the people who want to live in and around New Vegas are okay living in peace, Mr. House not only tolerates them, but welcomes them. If he stays in charge, the NCR still exists. It's not like they lose anything here. They just don't gain a city that they don't know what to do with.
War against the NCR. They're my best customers. If their leaders weren't scheming to steal Vegas out from under me, I'd have no troubles with the NCR at all.
He is not a threat to democracy or other people. He just wants a safe, free place for people to enjoy that simultaneously enables him to push the limits of humanity. If we lose Mr. House, we lose one of the only real scientists left in the world. We lose one of the only people left who is doing anything besides surviving in the entire world. If we lose House, we lose one of humanity's best chances at not only survival, but real life after the war. On the other hand, with House in charge, we don't lose the best aspects of an NCR victory or a Yes Man victory. You truly can have it all, and leave someone in charge after you're gone. The only real cost is the Brotherhood of Steel, and honestly only their Mojave chapter, which is doomed to die anyway without any intervention from anyone. And that's why I think Mr. House is the best choice in Fallout New Vegas. And there you have it. Fallout New Vegas remains the best all-around Fallout game to this day, combining the strong writing of 2011 Obsidian with the proprietary engine of Bethesda. Its characters are so compelling that people are still discussing them now, and this game just turned 15 years old this year. If you're interested in some of my latest videos, you'll find them here. Also, I just made a video about how Piper is an idiot last week, and if you missed it, why don't you go ahead and click here while you're at it. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week with another Fallout video.